is true. However, a black Kenyan that does not hide the fact that he is from the diaspora. Those get treated the same way. So what do you say about that? Well, they try and charge him more than local. Anyway. Have you sensed
I've not
that?
witnessed that.
Well, ask your wife. Ask your wife. Ask your wife. Ask your wife. Honestly, simple exercise. Ask your wife. She will tell you. When I go to Africa,
Yeah.
okay, I have to try as much as I can not to give away the fact that
You don't live there.
I don't live there. The fact that I don't live there
Yeah.
is actually
I think
it fuels in them, the locals, the need or the desire to get more from you.
yeah.
But with the white
so she
person,
has
there's
encountered
nothing to hide. He can't hide his whiteness. Can he?
True.
So you can't
True.
hide it.
But my argument is, and I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying, by the way. Just for me, I want two on the back and sides, and then just tie it up on the top. My argument is if it is a fair rate for the bus,
Yeah.
if the standard rate for a local is 20 shillings, then that should be the standard rate for everybody.
Yes, I agree completely.
And-
but where I disagree is when you say that it only applies to the whiteness of the skin. No, black people who don't live there, who are known not to live there, get treated as foreigners. They get treated
To
as
a
foreigners.
certain degree, yes.
When I go to the market, I was saying that to you. When I go to the market,
Yeah.
I have to not dress up with anything that would give away the fact that I'm not living there,
Yeah.
or that I'm an upper class. Even the people from the upper class there, they will try and
So
charge them
where
more.
is it that you go back to?
Cameroon.
Cameroon, okay.
And Africa is literally the same everywhere. They drop you somewhere in a village in Cameroon, you might think that you're in Kenya. Well, but perhaps just the stature and the physiques of the people will then tell you, oh, these don't look like Kenyan. Kenyans are more like, slim and, like maybe a small head. And so you have all these factors that helps you understand. People from Central Africa, they're like Bantus, so they kind of, Nigerian, Congolese, we look almost the same.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's hard for you to say, oh, he's a Nigerian. Now, it has to go down the accent or the language that you speak. That's where that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
It comes down to that. So when I go on the market there, I will deliberately not wear trainers. Because my trainers will be cleaner than right, okay? I will wear sandals.
Yeah.
Okay? And I will wear shorts. I'll wear a short or something, I'll just wear a short. And I will wear a sleeveless top or whatever. So it's to try and blend it. And I will speak with the local accent. I will try as much as I can to speak with a local accent. Now, these are efforts that I will make.
That you shouldn't need to.
Yeah, I should need to. But if I want to save some money and save wasting a lot of time, because it'll be back and forth with these negotiations.
Oh yeah.
It's all about negotiation.
Oh yeah. 100%.
But if they see that you've got the money, but even when there are habits, there are little things that you shouldn't do. For example, you shouldn't pull out a bundle of money.
No. You
right?
go with a few small notes.
Yeah. Or you split them and you've got a pocket where you have
your big notes and your small notes.
Yeah, so that
these are all things that I do when I go out there.
So
all things.
Right. So, and I'm telling you this, and you're identifying them and say, "Oh yeah, correct." I do the same because I gathered that this is the way you should behave in
Yeah.
order to.
I
to
learned
limit-
that in the time that I lived there. So
Yeah.
it's like when we went back in March,
Yeah.
I did the exact same thing. I went straight to the bank. I got a bunch of small notes
Mm-hmm.
and coins, and then that's what I carried around. And I kept my big notes in one section and my small notes.
No, recently I was in Zimbabwe. You know, recently I was in Zimbabwe, so I had some mobile phones there that I wanted to unlock. Okay.
Yeah.
And I gave the thing to the guy. I said, "You go and unlock the phone." He said, "Oh, come with us." I said, "No, I'm not coming. I'm not coming." Now they don't understand why you say you're not coming. Then I explained to him, well, if I go there and the guy sees that I'm like a foreigner or something, and there is dead obvious. Countries like Zimbabwe or even South Africa, you have to speak
Yeah.
not Swahili.
Yeah.
You have to speak the Zulu or
Yeah.
you know, you speak English, they know you're a foreigner.
Yeah.
Right? When by the time you speak English, number one is wrong language. Number two, your accent, your English accent is so much different to the local English accent, okay?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
So
definitely.
that will flag you out. You know, that's a flag.
You've got to speak your
Red flag.
Afrikaans, your
Yeah. So I can't speak the Afrikaans. And recently when I went there, I went to Soweto and I was told,
David,
don't
put that down.
I was told don't go there. Right? I was told don't go there. Because when we got to Joburg, it was like I think 5:30 or something like that. We were kept inside the bus station. We were told not to venture out because a lot of pickpockets and people, you know,
Yeah.
how do you call it? Like we will get targeted there because they know we're not locals. You
Yeah.
see? So although we are full black,
They can still tell you not.
yeah,
to.
they can
Yeah.
still tell you. So the guys there, they know, they do this all the time. They said, you stay in the bus, so they move us to another bus that was just parked up there to wait for people who were supposed to greet us or meet us to come inside and get us into a safe. Because even the taxi driver,
Oh yeah.
taxi driver can be a con man. You know, he'll get you guys in the wrong destination, steal your stuff. The biggest robbers there is the taxi drivers.
Yeah.
So these things happen. So I was in South Africa there, they can tell. When you get somewhere, you just say in English, say, I want this, I want that. They know you should be speaking, you know, in a local
Yeah.
dialect or something.
I suppose I'm fortunate enough because I know enough Swahili to be able to get
Well,
around and.
get around. No, you're
And
not fortunate
I-
enough. The color of your skin is on. You cannot hide it.
Oh, true. I can't hide the
cannot
colour
hide
of my
it, so-
skin, but
It doesn't matter what language you speak.
I can still get away.
However,
with-
when you speak the language, they know that this guy knows.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So whenever you speak the language, they're like, oh shit, this guy, we thought he was a, you know, he was a foreigner, but he's
Yeah.
not. He actually knows us. He knows our language. So he's been here for time. We cannot rob him or we cannot try and con him.
Yeah.
So they'll be a bit more careful how they deal with it. So getting back to the debate, right? Although I try to agree with the fact that bringing things up, well, oh look, why is it that this one crime wants to be buried at the deepest, I don't know how to say, like it's like somebody want this crime buried and never spoken about. Somebody now try and do this with the killing of the Jewish.
Yeah.
Try and do that. Try and do the same thing with that. Say,
Oh yeah.
forget about this. Let's just move on oh, you're a Holocaust denier. You're a Holocaust.
Yeah, I agree 100% with you. And that,
But
my point is,
Mhm.
yes, there needs to be recognition that something horrible was done. 100% agree. But is it healthy for it to continually be brought back up? Because if it's continually brought back up, there's never going to be any healing. And my point is not bury it. I do not agree with burying the fact, because at the end of the day, what was done was horrific. And to drag people out of their home countries just so that they can be slaves is not right at all. And there's never ever going to have been anything right with that.
Yeah.
Just because it was the done thing at the time doesn't make it right. And I don't think anybody who did it.
It was made into laws. There were laws about it. Everything was well.
But just because there was laws made about it doesn't mean it was right. And I don't think it was right in any way, shape, or form. And I'll never believe that it was right that somebody should be dragged out of their home, no matter what colour they are, or where their home is it right that they are dragged out of their home to be made somebody else's property to do whatever that other person wants them to do?
They were people's property, actually.
And
they were people's property.
Is that right? No. Should it be buried and forgotten? No. But should it be brought to a place where the world and all countries that were affected by it can get to a stage of healing and moving forward? That's where we need to be focusing. Now, giving one country financial payment for the crime against them is not going to cause healing. It's going to...
So do you believe that one country did gain an unfair advantage on other because of slavery?
I don't think it was one country.
Do you believe there is one system or one area on the world, whether it's the Western world, let's name it what it is? Did the Western world gain an unfair advantage on those regions or countries that were
I believe they took advantage of regions. I think, did they gain an unfair advantage? In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. Because I look at where a lot of society are at the moment, and there's a lot of people who are very ignorant.
Yeah, in France, the whole underground thing was built by black people, you know. The whole or the entire underground was built by them.
Yeah.
This thing is, here's what somebody said. He said, if he asked the guy, he said, do you want Buckingham Palace then? Since you said that you guys built it. He said, no, we don't want it. Then here's where it hurts, and this is how bad it is, right? When the Queen died, I'm someone who's fundamentally against monarchies and stuff. I don't know how that, you know, how we can promote democracy, but then we can like sovereigns and kings and stuff. I'm against that. However, so this is what it comes to. When the king died and stuff, one of my customers came in and said, "Oh well, how do you feel about it? You know, the queen passing away?" And I was like, "It doesn't mean anything to me." And he was like, "Well, but she did help. She did build a lot of houses for Africans." And I'm like, "Is that all?" She's like, "Yes, she did a lot for African stuff." like most Africans remember the British monarchy as the sponsor or the head of British imperialism, like they were running the business. All these people, explorators, or whatever you call them, they were going around, they were accountable to the king or the queen or whoever was there, to the monarchy. And when I look at this, the Britain was able to keep a king
You need a wee.
for so long.
Can you hold it for a minute?
And I'm thinking about my own king, because we all had one. We all, even in Africa, right? The structures and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, my own king, where is it? He was chopped, he was killed, the head was chopped. You understand? I can't go back in my lineage, I cannot go back 3 generations or 4 generations. Do you want to tell me why? I cannot. And I'm not a slave,
Yeah.
but I cannot go back. So when you talk about the pain of colonization, it affects your culture, it affects your identity, it messed up everything. Because all those structures that were there, they were destroyed, they were demolished, right? Not by the locals. There was nobody there in Africa, for example, having a big, massive sign saying, "Come and help us, we're gonna perish, we are in trouble here, we can't," No, 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 no. People were minding their own business, right? And exploiters or whatever you call them came around and they said, "Oh shit, let's look at this place. What can we get here for to improve our own standard of living, to develop our own, land and country and stuff?" So we get it, we get that. So you tell me, I don't have a village even. Do you understand? So if you want to go deep, I don't have a village. My dad doesn't know my village. My kid won't know my village. So if I'm like from Glossop, for example, I can no longer find Glossop because I just refer to myself as I'm from Manchester, right? Because my ancestors fled Glossop. They went all the way. Some of them ended up in Stoke. Some of them went to Newcastle. Some of them went to Glasgow. You understand? Scattered all over the place because they're running away from the war. So it is when I'm standing there in front of you and you can get your lineage and say, I'm coming from, it looks like I'm coming from the German. My ancestors are German. Yeah. I can't do shit. I can't do that. I can't do that. And it's not a funny thing to say. It is, very, very hurtful. So we have all that stigma, we have all that. The only people who manage to fight and perhaps retain some of it are the people from Southern Africa. Like Zimbabwe and Botswana and stuff. They managed to keep hold of some of their kings and, culture and stuff. But the rest of Africa there, I don't know about Kenya. I think maybe Kenya also. You have to put Kenya in there. You still have kings and there and then people that they are accountable to in the villages and stuff. But perhaps more like in South Africa. Because in South Africa recently, one Zulu king just died. He was there for time. But in my country, such people don't really exist apart from in the Muslim part of the country. Their king, their part was kind of deserved. I don't know why. They had a solid army probably, and they managed to fight off the invaders, and they kept their monarchy. So you have all those damages there that are quite deep stuff.
Yeah.
And worse for a slave trade. A slave child or someone who's born in Jamaica or something like that. first, if he want to find the country where he came from, he can't. He might say, "Oh, you should be at least, kind of happy that you know you're from Cameroon. I don't even know what country I'm from." And then another person will come and say, "Why does it matter? Why does it matter to find out where you come from?" Then those guys from ancestors.com, ancestry or whatever it's called, .com should not exist then. So that's the harm there. That's the fight. And then the recent generation will say, "Oh, well, why are you targeting us though? We didn't do it." No, the guy says, "You did do it, but you're certainly sitting on it. You're benefiting from it." And today, when you see things like what is happening there with the immigration, black people, they're following the money, they're following the wealth, I think, or for some, following what is being taken from them. So as long as the West doesn't help, because what the West does, which is one of the things you say corruption there, they support dictatorship there in Africa, and that dictatorship doesn't develop the country because they're not accountable. Some of the colonizing powers, when they left, they took puppets and they put them into power.
Yeah.
They didn't let the people choose, like Mandela, 27 years in jail. And when he came out, he became president, yes, but what if he was president back then? So he's one of the lucky ones. Others were just killed. You're a leader, they will kill them. Those guys had a vision for the country. In my country, we have a president that has been in power for 42 years. He will get received here by the king and the queen. He's been in power for 42 years. When he shoots them, they'll say, "None of our business." When he doesn't do this shit, "Oh, Gaddafi, we have to kill him. He's a dictator. The guy's been killing his people for 40 years. Do you understand?
Yeah.
He's been doing his people for 40 years, but you close your eyes. But the day he doesn't do the business that you want him to do, that benefits you, you go, "Oh," you call him out. Say, that's a dictator. We need to get rid of him." So the West does have a huge responsibility there, but I did get a point that you said, and the way for me to kind of argue with that is just to say, well, look, Malaysia did not go through slavery and stuff, because slavery conditions your mind. It messes. I mean, colonization does it, but slavery is even worse. But I do agree that the African should develop their own place, but we're trapped. Look at what's happening in Mali and Niger and stuff. They kicked out the French, and the French don't want to go. The French don't want to go. They want to stay there because the French, although all the German, the West African stuff, the French said, "We're not leaving. We're always going to have an army there or a battalion or whatever you call it." And the rest of the Western world just agrees. Do you think that United Nations is fair in a way that it's organized?
No.
Where a couple of countries are running the business and 1.5 billion people that live in Africa, what are they doing? They're just observing what is going on there. They have no say. So these are the disparity, and this is coming from the same root. It goes back to the same problem, slavery. Where they say, "You guys have no right. You can't be sitting on the table with the big guys." So as a follow-up to that, yeah, you end up with a United Nations that doesn't recognize any African countries. So there's a lot of, I think we have to have an open debate about it. And today, the reason why it's so hard and it's hurtful is because social media. Social media, everybody's a broadcaster. You are a broadcaster, I'm a broadcaster. So we don't rely on the BBC to tell us what's going on in Britain anymore. A guy in Manchester gets shot here. Somebody's already got it on social media. You don't need approval from the BBC to do that. So that has liberated people. So people can do research, they can look for things, they can understand what is going on in the world, and all the information that were kind of censored before, it can't be censored
Hello,
anymore.
Mayor, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm looking for shop 188A.
What is it supposed to be?
It's selling tables, dining tables and stuff like this.
It's selling what?
Dining tables.
Table.
Yeah.
It's not this one,
Huh?
the one after that.
Well, yeah, thank you anyway.
The one after that. But if it's not open, then you won't see it.
Thank
But
you.
if it's open, you'll see the dining table inside.
Yeah, thank
It's
you.
the one after this.
You okay, David?
David, how are you doing, David? And you have to feel sorry for people in Africa. As you say there, this is September now. That's when everybody's going back to school. And everybody there is sweating
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. Summer.
Yeah. It is bad. Because education should be free. At least for children. You understand?
Oh yeah. Agree 100%.
At least for children, it should be free. But no, it's not. And you look at people who don't earn £50,000 or $50 or $200,
Yeah.
paying education fees for their kids are like $100.
And their rent and.
And they have to pay the rent and the food to feed the kids and stuff.
I know. We're going in a minute, David.
That is really bad. Really, really bad. And not living and this, Africa will not move, will not grow. And a lot of people are brought into the business now and the government does not regulate the thing properly. Why would they charge children in primary school so much and stuff? Ask for this uniform, that other book and stuff, and changing books all the time.
Hello, brother.
You're right, sir.
Yeah. You have like this one.
What is that supposed to be?
It's for sale, like how it's called.
Is it gel for hair? It might be something that you can only get from online,
You have to
Because I
do
don't
just for
think so.
hire. It's not for hire. It's for take off the how it's called.
I'll get you sweets in a minute. Hmm? Yeah, you want sweets?
Don't have anything.
We'll go
like
get you
that.
sweets in a minute.
All right.
Okay.
So what do you think should happen to that woman that did that to the child? And this happened a year ago, a year and a half. And the Ireland Olympics didn't go anything until that girl, Bio, was Simon Bio, whatever, I don't know, she was a gymnastics, black girl. She posted that video and saying this is wrong. And that's when he exploded. So you see the cover up there, like blue and blue, like the family were tormented, like they never acknowledged or apologized for what happened until it got into the media, social media.
Pablo there.
And that's the power I know the power of social media. You see. When it was just the BBC and CNN and stuff, well, that's not interesting. You cannot broadcast that, no.
Right. You've done so well, David. Good boy. How much are you?
Oh. It's 10 for him and it's 17 for you. I used to be 50
The haircut for adults. Good change. Right, David, let's go get you some sweeties.
Sweet!
Yeah, he's been a good boy. He goes get sweet.
Get sweet treat.
Thank you so much.
Right, thank you. And what's that? It's 249.
Right.
Can I have your number? We're trying to change it to booking.
Oh, okay. Yeah. David,
So we
wait.
can send you thank you.
Thank you.
So we can send you the notification. What's your number?
07514 636 860. Matthew.
So you're Christian.
Yeah.
IT Kenya.
Can do, yeah.
So are you going to retire in Kenya?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. If I can afford to.
Right. So, because you've been there, so you see it as,
David.
you see it as an expensive investment. I mean, you've sized it up.
Oh yeah.
You worked out.
The thing is, everything is so expensive over there these days. When we went back in March, it's comparable to prices here. Yeah, it cost us just as much for 2 weeks in Kenya as it would have been for 2 weeks here.
So, what if you avoid living in a city?
Yeah.
A nice,
Still just
a nice 4x4.
Still just as expensive, I think, though.
Yeah, a nice 4x4. You live in a village or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
Come on, let's get you to the toilet.
I have no interest in me. If I go to Africa, to be living in a city centre or to live in a
No, I wouldn't be in the city centre, but not too far from the city.
not far from the city.
Like, outskirts.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, that was.
Alright,
I
bless
guess
you.
you see now.
Oh, we're going in, thanks. Hello.
Yeah.
We're coming to get all the hair chopped today.
What the hell? What's happening? Is he going through a midlife crisis or something?
Hello?
Is he going through a midlife crisis?
Yeah, he needs a drastic change.
A drastic change.
No, I'm joking. No, but we have come to get it altered. All
Alright.
of it.
Have you got a picture of what you want?
Of what I want, yeah, but it's not going to look like how I want it yet because I think the back is too short.
The back.
Yes, I know. I'll show you the picture. So,
How old is the boy?
my boy.
Mm-hmm.
He came this time. You remember? You shaved the head and then he had the top braided.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you see? So now I've done
Okay.
baby steps. I'm ready for the rest of it.
Oh, you want?
So I want this, but obviously his back is too short, so his back's not going to be like that yet. So it's probably going to look more like that, maybe. You know?
Show me that again.
It's too short for the back to be like that. You know, it's too short.
No, it might not be.
Yeah?
It could be okay.
Well, if you can do that, then great. You know?
Yeah, it could be okay. That's a
Could be
restyle
okay.
of that.
Yes.
So that's but that's also a little bit surprising because people love to keep the curls. They
Yeah.
kind of fall in love with the curls and they say, oh no, I won't cut his curls for nothing.
Yeah.
You know.
No, well, obviously,